Welcome to part one of build an e-commerce color search tool with Node.js and React. So this is a short video that's going to accompany this two-part blog series I'm putting together. I've got part one done currently right now. So we're basically building a color search tool. This is an example here of a very simple one on Amazon where you've got just a few colors, and when you click the colors, the product changes to match. I've got a picture of a little more complex one here with tons of colors. And this first post is basically going to be the server side or back-end logic that's going to create the data, basically scan in or read in a bunch of images and output the result of analysis on those images. So imagine a directory of images, which I will provide a link to. There'll be a link to some of these images on AWS, and be able to download and unzip them. Let me pull them up real quick. Here are about 100 different images. These happen to be fabrics, and what our backend logic is going to do is it's going to read in a directory of images, and then it's going to process those and analyze each one of those and give us a readout at the end. In this particular case, it's going to be JSON, in which we compare the image to a palette of 26 colors in this case. It could be whatever colors anyone chooses. This is the format here with a name and then an RGB color key. And based on this output, that's what we're going to use when we build our little front end color tool. As opposed to going through each image and assigning a data property. Oh, this one's magenta, this one's orange, this one's dark blue. Instead of going through and just eyeballing it or whatever, this program's going to do that for us with the help of a library called color Diff. And that is basically like, you can think of it as like rounding colors. It's going to take pixel by pixel, each pixel of an image, and look at the values of it, and then round it to the nearest one in our palette. And you assume if our palette has an even distribution of color across the spectrum of colors, it'll go to that closest color, and it won't be too far off when we click on that color in our app later on in part two. So this blog post is going to give all the code. It's only about 100 lines of code and a couple libraries. Basically Canvas for Node, just like the web API Canvas, and then that color Diff algorithm library. Those are the two libraries that's all it really takes to drill down to the pixel level, and then just format some data output. But it's pretty helpful, pretty cool little project for a blog post, I thought. And as you can see, we'll kind of scroll through the article here. Install dependencies, choose a color palette. Here I got everything, code samples that can be easily copied. And kind of breaking down, reading the directory, and kind of step by step, so it's not all just plopped in at once. The unsigned integer clamped arrays that represent the pixel data of images, and then finally the full code that outputs it. And I'm pretty excited. I even give a couple examples of analysis. So this image is scoring, you get 100 points or 100%, and it's 5% black, 6% gray, 6% silver, 30% white, 2% beige, 8% tan, and so on. And here's another image. This one's 100% red. So you can kind of get an idea of how the how our code is going to analyze each image. And yeah, looking forward to this post coming out, and looking forward to part 2 coming out, where we actually build a little color picker. And our little color picker is going to be, I'll give you a little preview. Oh, that's the current blog site, wrong website, sorry. I meant to go to brokeveganguy.com, where I have a little e-commerce testing site here. But yeah, just a simple color picker. It's going to look a lot like this right here, where it might not be as complex as this, but generally it'll be similar, where you click on a color, even multiple colors, and you can see where we're using that color data we have to filter our images. See if there's my cache. So you can see black and white, and you got sliders in this version. I don't know if I'll go that far in part 2. I don't know if I'll go into the sliders. That could be in even a third part, because that is a lot more work, just to illustrate a general purpose. And what I think is pretty cool about this project is really that it can be taken in all kinds of different ways, depending on the type of e-commerce or even a non-e-commerce application for it, and depending on what framework or what database. There's too many variables to be too specific about it. So I'm just giving a general sense of what can be done. You could probably find some service that you have to pay $1,000 a month or something to have a service that does a color picker. I'm sure that is out there somewhere. But yeah, that's basically all it does. And when you're dealing with 10, 100 products, you can easily go through and give it a data property by eyeballing it. But if you have 200,000 products, or even 10,000 products, there's no way that you're going to go through those one by one and give it a color value. That's just not realistic time-wise. But you could even run this as a cron job, or run this as at the time of when you create the product. It could be part of the product creation process. It's about a 10-minute read, and probably even less than that. But hopefully you'll like it, and hopefully you check out part 2 when it comes out. So thanks for watching, and enjoy the post.